All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. Just want to come back. I was doing a live this morning. And I don't know if I just ran through a bad area or whatever, but the video cut off. But I was just going into that this so-called white man that I work with, fell ill. He was a type of person to always talk about how, he was planning on retiring early. How much money he was saving up, making all these plans. But, you really can't do that, in the sense that you're in control, without having the perspective that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is in total control of everything, man. That's, like I was saying, is why we say, Lord willing, because it's the will of the Lord if we, make it to retirement age, save a certain amount of money, everything, man. And we understand that, being in this truth, the men of GMS. But, the rest of the world don't understand that, man. They think that they're in control of their lives, not knowing that man's goings are of the Lord. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? And you can't, because if it was up to you, if most people lived out their dreams, man, they'll end up being destroyed before they even, accomplish what they were planning on accomplishing. Because, most people live in wickedness, man. Most people are living in wickedness. The majority of these people out here have no clue. They calling on the name Jesus, praying to false gods, and just being demons out here, man. But like I say, I didn't know that guy's personal life, what he did in his personal life, but he was all right at work, But the point of the matter is, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. According to the book of Hebrews chapter 10, because the Lord is able to make alive, He's able to wound, He's able to heal, He's able to kill, and that's in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, man. The Lord is in total control of everything, man. We're just, pretty much in the passenger seat, really. But it just goes to show you that the way the world is going, man. You got the cruel Lord ruling. So you really, everything is unstable, pretty much. So you really can't be making plans. You can't be making saying what you're gonna do the next 5 years, man. It's insane. You don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, especially the way things are going now. Maybe 10, 20 years ago, you could have made plans, about your retirement and all that. But now, man, those days are gone. I was telling Jake today, man, like, things are not going back to the way they were. And he was like, well, you think now the recession we had was worse than the Great Depression? I'm like, nah, it wasn't worse. You like, but they came back from that. But you got to understand, man, we're in a different era, We're in the age of technology now. Back then they had industries that they could go to, steel industry, railroad industry, things like that. But now, AI is taking over, man. Just saw an article that a brother dropped in the chat, man. 153,000 workers lost their jobs in 1 month, the month of October. So, where are these jobs? You know, what are these people gonna do, man? Because it's no jobs. You got AI taking over fast food restaurants, you know, taking your order at the window now, man. You know, so jobs are going away. Benefits are going away. You know, you got people that depend on these benefits, man. You know, they didn't take away, you know, military benefits. But soon, man, that stuff is going to be gone, you know. And you're going to have the hour of temptation. You know, either you take this chip or else. You know, that time is coming. You know, we right here, man. You know, we right here. We are right here. But we understand that Yahweh Shemi Shah is our only hope, man. You know, we got faith in Yahweh Shemi Shah. You know, that's the only way we're going to make it out of here, man. That's why, you know, we constantly doing lessons, constantly going to camp, constantly, you know, trying our best, to the best of our abilities, to do the will of Yahweh Shemi Shah, man. You know, because we understand, man. We understand what's to come. You know, we got the other team's playbook, man. We know every move they gonna make. You know every move that they gonna make. So therefore, man, hey, we don't have but a choice but to win the game. You know, not saying that, you know, life is a game or what we're doing is a game. But, you know, man, we're on our way to that championship, man. We're on our way to being crowned. You know, we know it's not going to be a cakewalk, you know, walk in the park. None of that, man. You know, because we're dealing with the wicked of the earth, man. You know, Esau Edom, so-called white man, you know. I don't want to seem like I'm rambling, but I'm driving right now. Really can't get no scriptures. Really, you know, just really quote. You know, but the most important thing, man, is we got the name of the true living power, man. We got the name Yahweh Shemi Shah. You know, the book of Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10, man. Name of the Lord is a strong tower. And we truly believe this, man. You know, you gotta, you know, hey, man, oftentimes, man, I just sit and reflect on the things that Yahweh Shemi Shah, you know, brought me through and got me out of, man. Even though I didn't have a clue who Yahweh Shemi Shah was, man. But we gotta understand that we go through stuff to be built up, even though we didn't know about the truth. You know, we here now, man, and we just look back, and that's the main reason why you gotta be grateful, man. You know that Yahweh Shemi Shah brought you into the fold to even understand this truth. So we can't get too big-headed, man. You know, like Deacon Hakar. You know, this man is a priest Hakar, whatever his name. This man is you know, doing things for personal gain. You know, trying to be a celebrity, making fake videos like he knocking Edomites out, man, when you can clearly see it was staged. Trying to cause controversy between camps when it's already controversy, but he want to bring it to the forefront, you know, throw gas on the fire, so to speak, and then hide his hand, man. And at the same time, he going on. You know, his doctrine is flawed. You know, like I say, man, Yahweh Shemi Shah turned his camp leader into a sodomite and put him out on public display for everybody to see. So, you know, you gotta be fearful, man. You gotta be fearful of the Lord. You know, even though we understand that the Lord is on our side, we still gotta be walking on eggshells out here, man, because we ain't made it yet. You know, at any given time, Yahweh Shemi Shah can just take us up out of here, man. You know, and next thing you know, we in the spirit world. You know, so we definitely gotta respect this truth. gotta continue on in the faith. Gotta continue on in the faith. So, I just wanted to, kind of go back to that, because I was talking this morning, doing a live, and like I said, the live just cut off. So a lot of stuff got cut out, but I just wanted to come back to it, man, and kind of hit a few points and finish it out. But Lord willing, man, we can make it. Lord willing, we can endure to the end. Lord willing, how about Shimmy Al-Shai keep his Holy Spirit upon us, not bug us out, man. Just keep on pushing, man. I seen the elder out in Dallas, did a video saying that, you can't fight these demons alone. No way you can, man. But we gotta understand, man, we dealing with, powerful entities, so to speak, on the left-hand side. And it's, hey, man, we out here physically fighting, mentally fighting, spiritually fighting. And the book of Ephesians chapter 6 let you know, man, we dealing with some higher powers, man. So we must remain humble. We must continue to pray to Yahweh Shem Al-Shai. Watch as well as pray. The scriptures say, because our lot, man, is really a lot greater than the rest of the world out here, man. Even the people that understand and believe that they Hebrew Israelites, hey, man, we sent Yahweh Shem Al-Shai sent us to teach. So, not only do we have to deal with the things that they have to deal with, we gotta teach, learn, definitely go through that straight gate, which can get hard at times, man. Definitely can get hard, man. But that's why you got brotherhood, and you got Yahweh Shem Al-Shai. But I don't want to seem like I'm just keep ranting. But yeah, man, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. We just got to take it day by day, week by week, month by month. We can't just jump out here and be like, man, 5 years from now, man, I'm gonna move here and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, man, because next thing you know, you're gonna fall ill. But I left it out on this one, but yeah, the guy ended up having like brain cancer, brain tumors, brain tumors. And I heard him today say he had a surgery that lasted from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. yesterday, man. So that lets you know how crucial it was. And it was numerous tumors. They just went and got the biggest one they could, or the biggest ones they could, So, he ain't in the clear yet. But the last thing he's thinking about now is retirement, man. He's thinking about surviving, living to see next week, not 5 years from now. So you better believe he's taking it one day at a time right now, man. And that's the same way that we gotta be, man. Do the will of Yahweh Shem Al-Shai day by day, man. So with that being said, we want to constantly give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rikakwadashi. Shalom.